In fact, Adam Schefter of ESPN is reporting the settlement gives the players only 3 days, but next week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week, to try to bargain any change to the CBA. So the CBA, the owners just ratified, in some degree, may be altered next week, which is very strange.
Of course, again, we're talking about the agreement of one side. This is not done yet, and it depends how close they are, or is there a sticking point, or even if something is close and somebody says, no, I'm drawing a line in the sand. No.
All right. The legal entanglements that the two sides have right now, the 3 pending court cases, let's just take them in order. Obviously, the big one is the antitrust lawsuit, the Brady lawsuit against the National Football League in the state of Minnesota. How do you see that being resolved?
I think it's going to be dropped, and the reason I do is I think that they are close. And I think tremendous pressure. And also, in reality, these lawsuits were brought to put pressure on the owners, not because, oh, you know, gee, this is terrible what you're doing to me. It was just a pressure ploy.
But the players are not going to drop them until they're completely satisfied with all terms of the CBA.
They have to be. And also, there's rumors that some players say, hey, wait a minute, you owe me a few bucks for putting my name on that.
Yeah. What are you hearing about Vincent Jackson and Logan Mankins extorting the process here to get either unrestricted free agency, Matty, or $10 million lump sum?
Well, I think they've come out and said that no, that hasn't happened. I mean, I think that, again, I think the CBA, if the CBA is ratified by the players and it fits with what the owners are saying, if there's an agreement there, then all the other things will take care of itself. Now, the players, you know, the reason that Vincent Jackson and Logan Mankins were part of the 10 plaintiffs was because they represented a good cross-section of guys who were burdened under the former CBA. So there's a reason that those guys' names are on that lawsuit.
All right, and the second of the 3 pending court cases is the TV network case, the so-called Doty case for the damages and how they handled the TV deal, and they had a lockout fund of $4 billion. Do you see that just going away with the other one?
Basically, what's going to happen is money's going to come out of trust, and then you say, okay, we have an agreement. Here's the pie. Here's how we're going to split it. That shouldn't be a problem as long as they've agreed how they're going to split it.
Right, exactly. And does that, I mean, if you look at how that money would be split in the CBA going forward for the next 10 years, it seems to me like it's a pretty easy solution. Whatever that money is, divided up that way.
Right, and that's what I originally said. Just put it aside. When you finally agree, split it, and you have it.
And the third pending court case is the collusion case, $320 million. Peter King has already reported today that that is likely going to be dropped, Matty. Do you think the NFL owners colluded last year? Because there was no floor. There was no ceiling to the salary cap last year, but there was no floor. Do you think teams purposely did not sign free agents last offseason?
Well, I know that, you know, the 49ers in the past, when they had signed, when this labor agreement was coming up, when they signed some guys to extensions, they heard about it from the league. Like, what was the thinking there? And so I don't know if there was out-and-out pressure, you know, public pressure from the NFL to say, don't sign these guys, but they were certainly talked about. I think that there probably was collusion.
All right, and a couple of your contemporaries, Jim Trotter from SI.com is now reporting that this is the owner's deal and not the player's deal. And Jay Glazer is reporting now there's not going to be a player's vote today because the players have not even seen the changes that the owners have made to this collective bargaining agreement.
You know, and Greg, the players could get together and they could ratify their own deal. And then they could say, well, these are the
owners are separate deals.
The owners did it. The owners already said, hey,
Steve, we need one deal here, not 2 different sides of the story. Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, there's 2 deals, and that's exactly what could happen. The players say, well, you made your deal, and the players say, here's what we agreed to. Now, it's the opposite sides that have to agree. That's the big deal, so to speak.
Yeah, but the owners got in first, and so right now, I think public pressure is on the players.
Exactly. The good press, because, hey, we're ready. If we don't have football, it's because of you.
So the lockout's not over? Is that, I opened Chronicle Live saying I thought it was not over now? Is that what you've talked me out of? It is a lockout. The players,
Stay tuned.
The players, of course, struck a couple of times in '82 and '87. This is a lockout and not a player strike, but they may be striking the lockout. We shall see. The San Francisco Giants struck out 13 times yesterday, 12 in 8 innings against